Hey, Dennis Hall here with Learning Templates. I'm going to show you the new features of LearnDash Student Notes / Journals. Um, there's a couple of new things. For those of you who have been using my product for a long time, you've always used three shortcodes at the most. One was a add new note shortcode. The other one was a notes list shortcode. And the final one was the full notes list shortcode. Couple of new things in here. One new shortcode is a add new note pop-up shortcode. I'll demonstrate that in this video. Furthermore, you now also have a notification icon related to the notes. So a student will be able to see that they have a new note, a new message from the instructor. Um, and that's it. They'll be able to see that. Beyond that, the labels and the switches to turn things on or off are still here. Everything's as it was here. Nothing's changed. And with this new version, again, if you're used to using the add new note shortcode, which puts a note into the content area of your lessons, topics, quizzes, or anything, you can do that still. So upgrading to this won't change anything except one small thing when it comes to that. As well, we now have styling where you can you're going to be able to make use of this new notification icon that I had mentioned previously. Um, that new icon has a styling option. You're going to be able to change that icon for any font awesome icon that you want, and you'll be able to change the color of the icon and as well as the header of the pop-up. And of course, I give you, as usual, links to those websites where you can just go pick an icon that you like the most and make use of it. So given that, you also have a link to a hex color chart where you can pick and choose any colors if you don't know what color you'd like to make the header or the icon that you choose. By default, I've got the bell icon configured for you. Finally, there is a two-way communication now with notes. It's an email-based communication, and it's tied into the bell icon or the notification icon. So we have the instructor email. When a student selects notify instructor, we've always kind of had a hard-coded message, and now you can actually make your own email up for that. And finally, when the instructor decides to notify the student of their response, the student will get an email, plus the student will have that notification icon. So the notification icon is typically set up in your website's header menu. So let's take a look at the steps on how to do that first before we go further. So you're going to visit your dashboard appearance menus page. So let's go to dashboard appearance menus. We'll open that up in a new tab. There we are. And to configure that, what we'll do is we'll pick the main menu. This can be put as well into the course header menu in focus mode. It's the reason I made it for menus, so you could use it in multiple places, but it does have to be in a menu. So what we have here is we have the following the instructions. The instructions are simply saying add #notes into the URL field of the menu right here. Then the instructions are telling you to add this CSS class into the CSS class area right here. Those are the two mandatory things that you need to do, but I've played around with it a little bit, and I've found out that if you don't put anything in the menu, it'll go away. So if I were to leave it like this, there would be nothing showing. But you can also make use of HTML in WordPress menus. So in this case, I'm putting a clipboard, and if I want to change that, let's just go ahead and let's find another icon to use in there. Let's go ahead and use, let's use the snowflake O. There you go. That time of year, so we'll use that icon. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that FA snowflake O, and I'm going to put that into the menu instead of the FA clipboard. Check. And then you can also style those menus. So what I'll do is I'll make this menu white. Well, actually, white probably won't be good, so I'll just make it black. All right, and I can change the font size if I want. So let's say 2EM. And of course, it can be pixels or whatever. It's standard styling. Let's go ahead and let's save that. And what I'll do is I'll just head to the front end of the website where I did have that as the no email notification. So in this case, now it's going to be a snowflake notification. So this notification, you're going to want to find a font awesome icon that you like that is going to be representative of there is no mail, so to speak. So moving on, let's go ahead and let's just recap what we've done. We've basically we've created a new menu item. The menu item is a custom link all the time. You have to use that, custom links. We then put in a URL of a ID instead of using an actual URL. And, and this doesn't link to anything. It's just a notification. It's just visual. We then gave it this class. Giving it this class is very important to use. Even though it says bell icon, don't worry. That's just the class I chose to use because I'm using that as the default icon, expecting many people won't want to change it. And that's all I did. I then set up some emails, set up some email templates. So your student has left you a note to the instructor. Hi, instructor name, first name, last name. Any of these short codes can be used. Student first name, so Dennis Hall has left you a note, has left a note for you. You can read it here. And here is obviously a short code. That's going to go to that's going to go to the page that it's at, that the note is at. For the student themselves, in this case, the message and the you can read it here, this one goes to the student post link, is what I'm doing here. So the student post link is the link that the student will land on, which is like the lesson or topic that the teacher left them a message in. So it'll go directly there. You can change this to whatever you want, make it go to the student's dashboard or whatever, and I'll explain how all that works. Now, let's go ahead and just close that, or we'll just reload that because I don't want to undo the link that I had in there. All right, so let's go ahead and let's exercise this. So I'm a student right now, and I'm in my, that's my course, sorry. I'm a student and I'm in my dashboard. So let's just go ahead and load the dashboard. And I can see I have no instructor emails. So here, this is one of the new changes. I've restyled the email area. For those of you who've been using my product for a while, you've probably had to do a little bit of styling to it in the past. Now it's a nicer look. You may not need to style anything. You could probably just delete all that custom CSS you may have done. And I'm just going through as a student and deleting all the notes that the instructor had left me or notes that I had made myself. All right. So with that done, let's go ahead and let's, I just want to do something. We're going to just resize this for a moment. Alrighty. So here's the notes icon for the floating notes, what I like to call float your note. And basically this icon, that icon allows the student to drag their notes around anywhere they like on the screen, and they can just click the minus bar to minimize it and look at what's on their screen and make a note. So let's go ahead and let's make use of that. We'll take a look at my notes. That's fine. And by the way, this is a shortcode. It's the add new note underscore pop-up shortcode. And I place that at the top of this page. So let's just, and you can use the Elementor editor, or you can use Gutenberg, or you can use the classic editor with this shortcode. But just to show you what I did, I put this shortcode at the very top of the page because it's not visible in the page itself. Oh, and I did use Elementor for this. So let's go ahead and let's just load this up in Elementor. So because that's not a visible shortcode on the page itself, the add new note underscore pop-up shortcode is not visible. It's right here. So you can put it anywhere you want in the page, but I do recommend putting it at the top of the page. Just because it's out of the way and it's not going to confuse you with your content. Now there is another aspect to this. If I go into my achievements, in this case, understand I do have the floating pop-up note, but at the same time I also do still have the original add new note shortcode in here. So in fact I have both possibilities in this page. For those of you who have been using the Notes plugin in the past, you'll notice there's a note title now. So I can now add a new note and type a message to my instructor. And of course I can format the message and do all kinds of neat things with it and change the color and all that. That's all still there just as it was before. I can notify the instructor and send that note, just as I always have been able to do. So that note is now sent, and it does say entry added successfully. I do still have another note here. I can type the title here as well. So let's say dashboard note 2, and I can just go to that and I'll notify the instructor and send that note. Now with that note sent, I've sent 2 notes and I have my instructor has gotten 2 emails. Let's check the email. And it says here, there are 2 emails, one for each note. So, hi, Dennis Hall left a note for you. You can read it and respond to it here. So as an instructor, I log in and I'm sent directly to the dashboard note 1, which was the note. I see the student's notes. I reply and I tell them, just do this. You spelled incorrectly. Yeah. Now why I've separated that on lines is just because of that, because that's how WordPress will do that. So anyhow, we'll just leave it like that. This is the new feature in the instructor area. Notify student now has a checkbox for the instructor. I click update. Now as normal with notes, as it's always been, if I go back to the student note list page, what you're going to see is you're going to see that the instructor has responded to that note, and here is one that the instructor hasn't responded to, and that's going to be this note here. That'll be the second note. So as it's always been with notes, again, what you'll be able to see is you'll see a summary, an excerpt of the message that's in the note itself that the student had created. So here's the instructor and here's the second note. Let's go ahead and respond. And that's a good enough response. They're talking Klingon in these notes. So let's go ahead and once this saves, we'll just close this. And because the instructor notified the student, what you'll end up seeing as well now is 2 more emails coming in, because I'm the student in this case as well. There's 1 and there's 2. So hi Dennis Hall, your username is, I just put that in the instructions. Your instructor left a message for you here. So if you take a look at the URL within here, that's the same page I was just on. That's where the notes have been being left. So that links back to where the student left the note. The instructor themselves, well, all notes have now been responded to. The instructor can delete them, or the student can. Let's go ahead and let's reload this page. And we can see now there's a bell icon. So if I go to my notes, I can address this note either here, or I can address this note in the actual post that it was left in, which in this case is here, in fact. So let's go ahead and let's mark this note as read. And we still have a bell, and the reason we still have a bell is because we still have one unread message marked as that we haven't read. So we still have a notification icon. Let's go ahead and let's, you can also drag this around, and one of the things that I do is I block the student from being able to drag it outside of the viewport. And you'll notice that the note cannot be dragged farther left than this, and that's because the width of the note blocks it. This way the student can't accidentally drag their note off the screen. So if I open this up and I just change the width of the note to this, for example, what you'll now see is that the icon can only go as far as the width of the note again. So I'm blocking that, and this gives the student the ability to put the icon wherever they want, anywhere they want within the parameters, to make sure that it will not load up off screen. So let's go ahead and let's mark this note and just pay attention to the bell here, which is the same bell icon as up here. I put it in two places for the student. And this is using the all my notes shortcode, LLMS all notes. This shortcode can be put anywhere that they want. Let's go ahead and mark this as read, and what you'll see is the bell is now back to being a snowflake. And that's all I wanted to show you. Thanks.